Right here. There we go. What's up, everybody? Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you had a great weekend. That was a long weekend. It was a good weekend though. I ain't gonna lie. It was a pretty good weekend. What's up? Say what? I have to actually pop out, open up another chat. There's a way to pop this out. Hold on one second. It's been since last Friday, and I forget how to do this already. I'll keep price and time up. 5 minute. How was everybody's weekend? Hopefully you were doing amazing. I might be selling right now, actually. I gotta hurry up and do this before I yeah, let me see here. Nice breaks of structure there. Sell till you can't sell no more. Wick bottom. Red block. Looking on the 1 minute for a sell right now. Hold up. What'd you guys all do over the weekend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're building up some liquidity to the downside here. Somewhere in here. Look for that dang pop-up thing where I could pop this out. How was everybody's trading today? What's up, Trading 4J? How you doing, buddy? Actually, that's right. I'm gonna pop this chat out too. Nice cabin. Where was your cabin at? Where do you have a cabin? Ah, there we go. Detach. That's what I was looking for. I just put that there. Make sure I could see it. Perfect. Perfecto. Put that there. Actually, if I put that there, then I could always see it. Let's organize the screen here. One hour from where you live in Sweden? You live in Sweden? Like, how the heck? Where do you live? Oh my gosh, bro. That's pretty cool. All right. Hopefully, we can get something better even up here. This is MNQ, the micro Nasdaq E-mini. Right on the 15. What up at 3141? 3176. To be honest, I'm in an hour block, so what that means for me is I will start buying even into the FEG, the 15-minute FEG. I will start buying if because I'm in a 1 hour, so like that's the 1 hour this for me. So that big 1 hour block, the white right here. So usually that's pretty strong, and you might see something like, it kind of bounce off the FEG and it might create something like that. But overall, I think it's going to push higher. Like if you go to the hour up here, creating higher highs, higher lows, right? So that was a nice strong close above here. So out of this block, I'm looking for potential buys up. Oops. And yeah, I could bounce off this FEG right here, but I think we could take some nice buys off of that. Now, what I do though is instead of guessing, I just do price action. So if I see what I'm looking for inside this 5-minute block right here on the 1 minute time frame, I'll take a little scalp because we don't know how far it's going to go down either. So that's the thing. Like, especially when you're live streaming, you got to make some trades happen. So I got to constantly do that. Let's see. But yeah, you're right. It's probably going to be a nice sell. I don't know how far off that 1 hour or that 15 rather. Could mark that up. Show you what I think you're looking at right there. But yeah, like even if we take a buy up into it off this block down here, let's say it closes above this 5-minute block, even if we took a buy into that, let's just say it was something like that, stop. That could be a quick 1 to 1.5. It's not huge. Most likely would fill the whole thing, hit a 1 to 2. Not the greatest trade, but we just got to deal with what we got. Yeah, it's hard on TikTok. It's like I have to keep managing it back and forth. I'm actually streaming to YouTube too at the same time. So I got my chat down here. What's up, YouTube? How you doing? Papa, good morning. How are you doing, buddy? Should you buy? I mean, I'm never going to give financial advice. I'm just showing price action. Um, that's beautiful. What's up, Beauty of Gaming? How you doing? What up, Paul? Paul Shank? How you doing, man? All right, so right now I'm still looking to see if it's the buyers get exhausted in here. I actually have my Solomon flow kicking in over here. Kind of hard to show that. I'll show that for my members only at 3:15. Yo, how you doing? see if we get some kind of, I'll take this. Hold up. I'll take a quick scalp at this just for fun. If it closes underneath this little baby, this little tiny FEG over here, I'll use a 9-point stop. Unless it keeps going up, obviously I'm not going to take the sell. But with that, even if it kept staying on this liquidity line, is what I call it, it would still be a 1 to 1.17 before going down. Now it might just spike this out, sweep it out this high, or it can go all the way up to the FEG. We just don't know. That's one of the issues I have with a lot of people that teach, is they're like, well, it's going to go up to here. No, you don't know if it's going to go up to there then. You might not even get a trade that day, unless that's your actual rule and that's how you trade. Hit me up privately for that stuff, bro. What's up, Shadow? I'm going to take this off so you can see it better. Just made lucid trading 25K flex. Beautiful, Martin. This is Trading View. I'm actually trading 5 top step, 5 trade of 5 take profit traders over on my right hand screen over here. If there's anything that pops up. Deity, what's up, Deity? Yeah, I know who you are. What's up, Shane Richards? Hey, buddy, haven't tuned in a minute. Hope all, man, life is so good. Blessed, man. God is good. Family's good. We're all healthy. I'm about to be a grandpa. Have you checked the ads example I shared before? I don't even know where you sent it. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know where you sent it. What's up? By the way, Bullinox is looking great again. I don't know if you guys have, you know, actually, let me show you. I have a coupon code for this too, by the way, but Bullinox just redid all their stuff, and they have, this is really good news for us, okay? They have end of day, right? And then they have, and I'm showing this on YouTube, guys. It's too small a screen for TikTok, okay? And you could do a 50K, 175 one time. Obviously, there's coupon codes, but this is for, that's for qualification. It's not the greatest, actually, now that I look at it. I didn't look at the prices earlier. Fast track, 488. I think you're instant funded. That's kind of crap. So obviously they're gonna have, they're gonna model like Tradeify and probably do like really heavy promos, you know. Get out of here. All right, so it looks like we are coming up here. All good. And I will start buying, actually, because we're coming out of a 1 hour block. We're breaking, if this closes above this block, I'll be looking for buys out of here. So it's even better, I guess, because there's a lot more room to go all the way up here than down. I mean, I guess not, but let me see. Even with a 63-point stop, I'm not saying I'm going to buy right on a close. That'd be a 1 to 3 if you just held that sucker. If you had no time, not bad. Guys, make sure you hit that follow. I've been streaming live daily on TikTok. And also, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Been going live every day at about 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and we trade the afternoon. I do the afternoon because I do a lot of teaching in the afternoon in the Asian session. And oddly enough, we have an 85, 90% overall on the day win rate, which is pretty fantastic. And most of the days we get at least 1 or 2 trades. A lot of times you have to slow down to speed up. So many people are in a rush, right? Rush to get funded, rush to get a payout, all this stuff. But the problem with that is you can't, most people, I would say 95% of traders, and that's statistically matches like the success rate, can't handle their emotions enough to even start thinking about trading when there's too much volume, right? And that's one of the reasons I'm not a huge advocate of like the orb strategy and stuff like that, although it is very good and it works if you know what you're doing. Most people don't take into account on their how they feel and what they do when they lose. And when you lose too fast, you tend to start clicking the button, right? You start to get in more and more quicker and start blowing accounts. And then sometimes it's like it happens so fast you don't even like realize it happened, and you're like, what just happened? Then the rest of your day shot, you know, versus like waiting for a proper setup and waiting for uh, the perfect, what you would call perfect. And a lot of you guys don't know what a perfect setup is for you. And that just because my setup's perfect for me, it's what works for me and my emotions and my personality and my bad habits and my good habits. It's what works specifically for me. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you, because quite frankly, you're probably needing to get, I'm just going to be honest, trading's hard. Like, you're probably going to need to get beat up a lot more, right? You're going to need to lose a lot more. You're going to need to listen to what I'm telling you and not listen. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to hear what I'm saying and you're not going to listen, and you're going to struggle a lot more. Okay, so you see we wicking this? Okay. So now I could look for sells if it closes like that, which it did. So we're inside the block. So I'm going to actually sell. We didn't close. We just rejecting this. So actually right here, let me see. We just inverted this. What's that, guys? It's hard to adjust all this, but this is actually, I'm in this trade right now. I just got in. I am in the trade.
Order filled.
I'm rushing into my other account too. All right. I'm using Trade of 8, and it's only letting me do crypto and futures. How do I make it do stock? Trade of 8. Oh, I don't know. That's going to be. I teach on prop firms for one because it keeps it legal for me. I'm never promising any money or telling you to use real capital or anything. So on all the prop firms, you could trade it. As long as it's literally for futures. I'd recommend you get something like Top Step or Take Profit Trader or Tradeify. Which coin is this? What? This is MNQ 2026. This is MNQ, Micro's Nasdaq, right? It's not a coin. Now, if price closes back above this area, I might get out early. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. I would think it should come down because we only wicked out this high, right? And we have this imbalance down here. It should at least come down to there. What's TP? So I'm a price action guy, so I'm not a signal guy. For me to tell you like it's going to go here is kind of ridiculous. But what I'd like to see happen is come down here to take out this liquidity. It could still go up too. There is a chance we could lose. But the trick is to do the proper risk reward. So like when you do lose, So TP, I would love to see TP of 30,078.50. Yeah, their website was so bad on Bullinox. What's up, Christina? How you doing, girl? What's going on? Now, this could come into this FEG, and if it does, that's totally fine. Here's the kicker, guys. You got to be excited. So if you know, and we go over this a lot, if you know you have like a 70% win rate and you lose this trade, it then comes down to, oh well, that's awesome because now I'm probably gonna have like seven, and I could have like seven in a row essentially because 7 out of 10, right? So you have to have that kind of mindset. And with that said, start talking to yourself. Start thinking, okay, if I lose this trade and I lost whatever your risk is, 500 or 300, was that on a prop firm or whatever you're trading? How would you feel, right? Me, I'm risking 400 times 15, right? So it sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, with the real drawdown and the padding that I built, it's actually nothing at all, right? I'll feel nothing. I won't even realize it's gone actually, 400, because I'm only looking at it per account. So you got to like kind of talk to yourself and feel this out for yourself, because that's where it differs between each trader. 400 to you might be like, oh my gosh, that was like all week's worth of work lost in minutes. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, you probably need to lower your risk. You probably need to lower it because your mind can't handle it yet, And that's why some people just start freaking out and blowing accounts and just losing their mind and getting loans and taking out, they shouldn't be doing it. Overall, it's mostly mindset. How long did you see it been trading for? 11, 12. I've kind of lost track, to be honest with you. It's been like 11, 12 years. If you count like binary options, binary options, it was like 11, 12. Then I traded a lot of crypto for a while when it was really hot and everybody could win as long as you buy something. So I felt like I was a trader, but I wasn't really a trader. And then, I got into Forex, which I finally had a huge breakthrough. And that was like my biggest success. I started just killing it. And then um, prop firms really got heavy, and I got really good at passing prop firms. I'm be honest, I went from being very profitable with my own accounts to losing hundreds and hundreds of accounts in prop firms. So it was a different animal. But the risk management and all that, and the trade management and all that stuff that I've built and learned from prop firms has like really helped me take everything to the next level. So people are like, well, I don't like the rules and I don't like anybody who tells me that, I'll be like, look, don't show me your stuff, but I want you to think about it. How profitable are you actually with your real money? Okay, if you can't be successful at a prop firm, in my opinion, you should probably not be trading your real capital. Okay. But yeah, then I got into futures heavily when the prop firm scene kind of died out heavily with Forex. And I really love leveraging other people's capital, like really, ultimately. And my favorite thing I ever hear is with people is like, well, I have money. I don't need to do prop firms. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Most, and no offense to anybody, I'm not trying to offend you, but like, not that I care that much, but like most millionaires I know, like multimillionaires and people that are smart, like to risk, they like to keep their risk as small as possible, right? So of course, trade your own capital, do that stuff, but when you're trading your own capital, you're usually trading much less capital, right? And when you're trading your own capital, let's say you had $1 million in a brokerage account and you're going for 1% over, you're not going for 10, 20, 30, 40% like you would on a prop firm, right? You're going for these tiny little incremental things. And that's totally fine if that's all you want to make. then you're really not like a day trader. Like maybe that just wasn't for you. If you're like long-term hold, absolutely. Like, you know what? Have your own account, trade your own capital. That's fantastic. But for people who are trying to make like day trading like a career, like for real, you might want to consider leveraging other people's money. And then if you're doing that, you can actually make you can make quite a bit, right? Fast with very little risk. Like that's silly to say, well, I don't need to do that because I got the worst is when someone's like, well, I got $50,000 to trade. I don't need to trade a 50,000 profit. They're missing the whole point. Absolutely missing the whole point. You know, and I have plenty of money. I don't need prop firms essentially, but like, why would I want to risk my capital? You know, like it makes zero sense. Now I do risk my capital, but much smaller risks. That's my whole point. We'll see, because if it does, it's going to rip. What's going on? So now we have this. So if we can get back above here, I'll just probably wait for a pullback and get out at break even. There's no reason to rush to get out. There's no reason to rush to break even. There's not a reason because we know where the liquidity has to go. Okay, it doesn't have to right now, but let's say they sold off all their contracts up here. Now they need cheap contracts again. Oh, live account is amazing once you have experience. Absolutely. I still do these things with our group called grocery getter accounts where we'll try to flip like 500 to 10,000 as fast as possible, especially with like Forex. Absolutely. I mean, uh, live accounts are absolutely amazing. But most people, in my opinion, shouldn't be trading their live accounts. I barely know anybody who isn't successful with who can't pass a prop firm, who can't keep a prop firm, get payouts, who are successful with their own capital. And maybe they are, but just like on a small scale. They're not like making, and I'm sure there's somebody. Okay, everybody knows some. Oh well, this guy. But like in my opinion, from what I've seen, and I've now had over 30,000 customers, and in the option space, future space, forex space, um, all that. From what I've seen, it's it's kind of like very. It's a very small amount of people that actually stay consistent enough, long enough to even keep their real money account. And they don't tell you. They don't tell you on out in the open. They'll come to me almost like a therapist. You know, the grown men crying, I did it again. Now I just took 20,000 more out of my 401k so I could trade more and all this. But because they have no business trying to, it's almost like a lottery ticket. You know, they'll do a 0 day XSP options trade and risk way too much. I am in a trade, Nathan. I was considering getting out at almost a 1-to-1 here, but I want to see if we could rip through this liquidity down here. Only because this 5 minute right here basically scalped, or not scalped, swept this 5 minute high. So if it swept that and we have this liquidity down here, it could very well go lower for now. So until it closes above this, I don't want to take any buys personally. It's just my rules. Guys, make sure to hit the follow button if you're new on TikTok, and if you're on YouTube, I go live as well every day at 2:30. I might start pushing it to 2, depending on the amount of growth I get out of this. So at 3:15, I go live with my members on Zoom. That's something if you're interested and you want to continue trading with me. We have our favorite time. Well, my favorite time, I don't want to speak for everybody, is like 3:45 to 3:50, 55 after, sometimes 4. And we'll get sometimes a huge spike that takes out the rest of the liquidity to the end of the day. And sometimes we'll ride these suckers, hit 1 to 20s, that kind of stuff. If you're interested, you can join. I'll put the link in here as well, but you can join for 7 days for free. Solomon Select. You join for 7 days for free. I need to make an easier link now that I'm streaming over here. Put the link in here too. 7 days free. If you don't like me, whatever. You can leave. You know, it's totally free, no risk to you. If you want to stick around and get 36 plus live training sessions per month, plus my indicator and all that kind of fun stuff, that's it. You can. All right, so let me put that in here. In summary, I do a lot of supply and demand stuff. Mostly, I want to say that I'm more. I'd rather you call me like a liquidity trader. I don't really go by the book of anything specifically. I kind of have my own way I do things. I'm not like I've spent about $180,000 on different mentorships and trainings and working with people over the years. And basically, my thoughts on that is it was all worth it. Even the scams, even the people that took my money. I think at the end of the day, it was all worth it because it taught me what to do, what not to do, all that kind of stuff. It was all geared towards my success, you know. And so, you know, I'm not really any specific kind of trader. I just go towards where there's liquidity. You know, you think this chart is going to reverse soon? I do, because we're in an hour block actually. I think we're actually in a 1 hour block here, a 1 hour block, and I think we're creating higher. Not think. I think we're gonna keep creating higher highs. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take profit right now personally. I just took profit. Okay, that which basically was 15 accounts times 550. How much should I just make there? 15 times 550. Nice little scalps. And I always say you don't have to have a home run. Home runs aren't what win the game. It's the singles, right? So yeah, it's only $550, but that was times 15 accounts. So let me see. Started school this week, first grade. Oh my gosh. Your little one, Christina, that's beautiful. Power of leverage. Yeah, you got to leverage, right? ODTE. Yeah. And I do that. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do 0DTE XSP, but I'm using proper risk. You know what I mean? Exactly why I use prop firms. I'd rather lose their money since I'm learning. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to leverage millions of dollars of capital. It makes zero sense. Well, liquidity, basically, I use trend lines. I'm not a trend line trader, but I say, okay, where's the most obvious place where there's a bunch of retail traders and all kinds of people putting their stops? It's going to be below these lows, right? It's going to be below all of these lows. Let me see where your screen is here. Make it smaller so you can see. It's difficult. So yeah, if you could draw, I always say if you could draw a trend line on it, I call it, I changed the name to liquidity line, right? If you could draw a trend line on it, and let's say it came up, oh, we had a trend line here, right? I call it, again, a liquidity line. There's stops above all these areas to the left over here. Put my cursor there. There we go. And all these were taken out, right? So this was taken out. Then we started breaking back down right here. Once we started breaking back down, I'm like, well, where's the liquidity now? Okay, and why is it important? Because they offloaded all their cheap contracts that they purchased down here on all the people up here. They knew there was tons of people that would buy, that would be forced to buy their contracts at a higher price. How do they know that? Well, they have if all the people selling here had their stop losses above here, right? Well, those stop losses are essentially a forced buy, right? So basically they're agreeing, I'll buy it at a more expensive price. So the institutions and the algorithms know that. So they bought a ton of contracts down here for cheap, you know, buy low, sell high, right? They know where the people that will buy, it's up here. So they come up here and wick this out. Now, price action told us that we want to go back down because we started breaking back down right here, okay? And I showed that entry above. Now, once they took this and then they broke back down, they start, the most obvious place for them to come get new cheap contracts would be below these lows. Why? Because people were buying here, right? They put their stop here. They put their stop here. They put their stop here. Of course, you have breakout traders, which I do a lot of breakout stuff. I'm not saying that's good or bad, right? I mean, I love doing that stuff. These people are selling. They have sell limit orders. Okay, so just in case, and then they put their stops up here, thinking, okay, if it comes down here, I'm going to sell, right? And then what ends up happening is there's tons of people down here. They come down here, they take all these contracts because they know the people that are buying have these cheap contracts. How do I know they have cheap contracts? Because they put their stop loss at a lower price, and they will sell, and they will lose money on their stop, and the institutions will make money by buying cheap contracts here. And then because we know they're in an hour order block, or at least my members know, and I know, we're in an hour order block, it should start pushing back up. And this is oftentimes where we'll hit a 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 20, 1 to 30, because we're expecting a higher time frame, higher high, right? So I expect, you might look at this and be like, well, look at this, Bob. There's all this fair value gap down here that needs to be filled. No, it doesn't. They can take that out next week. Okay. You got to stop thinking, well, you got to stop being so biased on what you think is going to happen. I don't ever think I know what's going to happen. I just wait for price to actually show me what I feel they're showing me, right? Versus I used to be a reaction type. Like I would be like, okay, well, I think it's going to go here, so I'm going in. Stupidest way to trade possible, right? A simple price entering an area plus a wick is not good enough. I used to trade like pin bar plus, a pin bar out of a block and then bam, get tapped out. It's because that's stupid. You want to see proof of momentum, right? Look, this trade's working out perfectly. And guess what? Because I've been through this so much, I am fully capable of not giving a crap that I could have had a 1 to 2.4. I feel nothing, right? I always compare it to like the martial artists where they get their shins hit over and over and over with a stick, right? Until they can't feel their shins anymore. It's the same thing. You need to take the same kind of trade over and over and over again until you feel nothing. And one of the things I recommend for my students quite often is why risk so much, right? If you're not consistently profitable yet, just risk $100. This isn't financial advice. Just risk $100 on your prop firm and take that same trade over and over again. And guess what? Do it for more than 2 days, right? You're going on YouTube, you're going on TikTok, you're finding like the best strategy of the week, right? Of the day anymore. You're following all these podcasts, you're doing all these things, and a lot of them are great, okay? But stick with that one that you actually like, okay? For my personality, I was addicted. I was like a drug addict for trade setups. I thought, okay, if I get on 20 different signals, if I follow 20 different people that are successful and I take all their trades, I should be successful too. It doesn't work that way. And it's not like foo-foo stuff like you believed they were great and then they weren't and they won and you didn't. It's not foo-foo stuff. It's because they are doing different risk management than you. This is what's not talked about. Okay. And it's not sexy. People don't want to talk about this on the front. Okay. But the truth is everybody wants to get rich super fast. And in order to get rich fast, you have to actually slow down to speed up. You have to slow down to speed up. You have to risk an amount where you don't even feel it. You don't even know it's gone if you lose it. If you lost that, it won't change any of your emotions today. It won't change how you feel. It won't make you sad. It won't make you happy. It won't make you upset. When I win a trade, like I just won $550 times 15, I feel zero emotion. Like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, what can I go do with that money now? I'm not like, I don't even know how much it was. I'm not even thinking about it. What is that? 5,000. Is that 7,500 plus? I don't know. 7,500 plus. Why do I not care? Because I've detached my emotions from the money, right? And you might be like, well, and people will naturally say, Well, Bob, that's easy for you to say. I hear that so much. It drives me crazy. There's so much. Guys, I was the most emotional trader ever known to man. I promise you. Like, I was worse than anybody ever knew. David P, you can go to you can go here. I have a 7-day trial. Jump in there, 7 days for free. If you want, you can go to this link. Thank you, Paul. Paul says, I am the crap. In a good way. I took what it gave me and I will wait for the next trade. Beautiful. Yeah, so I won, dude. I want, and then greed will kill you and your account so fast, guys. Like I took a nice little 550 times 15. Okay, that's $7,500. And the worst thing you could possibly do is be like, oh my gosh, I could have got, if I would have just held it more, I could have made 15,000. Dude, if you can pull out, okay, and actually walk away and be profitable for the day, congratulations. You are like better than 90. I'm going to make up a number. 98% of all human traders, okay? Definitely better than most of the AI traders because they all suck. Okay, I don't care who's selling you that crap. You can go to, this is my paid membership. You could also jump on a call. I have one-on-one stuff. I'm not cheap. Okay, I don't claim to be cheap. I'm also not like the face tatted guru with the gold teeth. Like what I do is I build a family. Okay, I've been doing this for 7 years. Pretty much everybody that comes in my world doesn't leave. Like they just don't leave. Okay, we're just normal people. We're not trying to, you know, you'll never know even if I have a Lambo. Like, do I love cars? Yes, but that's not how I'm going to get you in. I'm going to get you in with helping you. I want to help you, whether you work with me or not. Like, and I also, I don't promote as a Christian. Like I'm not like saying join my Christian trading company, but I'm saying I answer to a greater power than myself. So I'm never, I can't screw. I don't even know how to screw over somebody. Just put it like that. Anyways, what's the best prop firm? I like Top Step. I think it's probably the easiest to get a payout, and Tradeify. I like, those are my two favorite. Take Profit used to be my favorite, but I don't like how they have the live trailing drawdown as soon as you get funded. But they're good as long as that doesn't bother you. And also Lucid's pretty good. What else? Those are my top 3 right now. Apex is good, but I don't like their activation fee. I'm going to be honest. I wish they would just kind of like fix that. Like, I don't know why they do that to us, right? TPT just changed 3-day challenges. I'll have to check it out. I can't keep up with all of them anymore. You know what I mean? You can join. Okay, I just noticed on here you can't even see it. So I need to get a better link for this. If you go to school.com / let me make this smaller for you guys on TikTok over here. You're probably looking on your phone or something. School.com / Solomon Select. You could do a 7-day trial, and then I'll message you. And if you want to work other ways, we could work that way. You can't see the website on the screen? Okay. Let me do this. 5-minute. Let me kind of zoom in here what we're even doing. I'm just going to retype it because I don't want to deal with this. We're going deeper into this block, guys. I think it's going to actually push up. I'm going to put the link one more time, then I'm going live on for my members only. And then either way, make sure to follow me on here. You know what? You might like not want to work with me, and that's totally cool too. I want you to find somebody that you could actually work with, but whatever you do, focus on one thing and get really good at that one thing, and you will be successful at this. Okay, you just have to focus on one thing over and over again, and then you'll get kind of like your own rhythm, and you'll feel your own emotions through this and all that. So let me see if there's like a way to share this link. You guys could join for 7 days for free. I'll message you privately, and if you want to work even more one-on-one with me, we can go there. So there's that. There's a link. Do you see the link? I'm going to pin the comment. Now I'm making my Zoom room for everybody. We already got one good trade in today. There's also my Asian session trading, by the way. I might as well throw that out there. If you go to solomontrading.com/after hours, I just started this where I'll literally text you a thank you, room. I'll literally text you a Zoom link, and you could jump on only when I see an actual trade about to happen, and I'll come on a trade, and that'll happen anywhere from 6 p.m. to sometimes 2 or 3 in the morning. You could set the times of when you want to get texts and stuff like that. We're 6 for 6 so far, so that's pretty cool. You definitely missed this trade. This is a perfect trade, perfect setup. By the way, on TikTok and YouTube, why don't you go ahead and let me, everybody, let's just celebrate wins. I do this thing where I like to celebrate wins where everybody, had success today. I'm just now jumping over to my members only on Zoom before they start bringing pitchforks at me. But I just had a big influx on TikTok. Make sure you hit that follow button, or you probably never see me again on TikTok. I'm just telling you straight up. But yeah, go ahead, and I'm just making this webinar real quick. If you profited today, go ahead and let me know in the chat. Just let everybody know if you profited today on these calls or on this one trade. We sat through it, waited on it, and then took profit. So whether you're on YouTube or you're on there, yeah, nano futures, yeah, man, nano futures, 1/10 of a micro. Excited about that. I don't know if how fast futures or prop firms are gonna allow that, but if you took this trade, guys, go ahead and put it in the group. Let me know if you profited or not. Which is the best for copy trading? So copy trading, they all have built-in ones. So like I like wealth charts personally. You could use Rhythmic, but I like wealth charts for Tradeify, and they have a built-in trade copier. I like to trade them in groups of 5. Okay. On Top Step, they have their own built-in. I love Top Step X. You could copy trade all 5 there. I don't recommend that you copy trade all of your accounts at once, because you have one bad day, you lose everything. There's one time I was trading live, and it was pretty crazy. I was trading live and lost all 20 accounts at once because I used NQ instead of MNQ. All funded. It was like, oh my gosh, one little click, boom, gone. Where's the after hours? If you can you see the link? I posted, I pinned the link. I don't know if you could see it. Pin comment. There we go. I just pinned it. But it's solomontrading.com/after hours. That's probably the lowest barrier of entry to jump on more group settings with me. As far as, there's one more thing I wanted to share, but let's see. Members only, because I feel like we're gonna get like maybe a buy here shortly for members only to end the day. Members only, trading. All right. Making the Zoom link, guys. I apologize. Schedule. There we go. I did see it, but I want to just jump straight into learning and getting the indicator how. Why not? All right, look. I'm going to give you another link where you could literally everybody comes on here. Just this is going to be an easy way for me to DM you, okay? Join this for free. Okay? Join this for free, and then I'll message you privately, and then we'll talk and see where you're at currently, okay? I'm not a sales guy. I'm not going to like pitch you like everything. We'll just see where you fit best. So just join that group for free right now, and I'll accept you. Let's see, join directly. I see people already joining. So syndicated search, what is that even? I don't even know. That'll be the easiest way, and then we could direct message each other right on there, if you could see it. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and send out the Zoom link to everybody on Solomon Select. Submit. Are you David? Oh, I see you there. There you are, buddy. All right, I'm going to put this out in the Solomon Select group. Trade ideas post. And then I'm putting it up here under live. And thanks, guys, for hanging out with me for the last 45 minutes. Hopefully you profited nicely on that trade. We're going to do the end of day right now. I might just push this out to 3:30 every day because 3:15 to 3:30, pretty much nothing ever happens anyways. So I might just push the members only from 3:30, like a 30-minute thing. I'm kind of digging that even more anyways, like lately. Like, why not just show up when there's actually a trade? You know? What's up, Jorge? Hopefully you had a great weekend, man. Okay, I'll message you right away. Let's see. The best way is the Solomon Select. I mean, that you get the indicator. You can jump in my live training right now. 7 days free. But I'll message you in a minute here. Let's see, trading members only live right now. Okay, guys, I'm gonna jump off TikTok and YouTube. I'm sending out the Zoom link right now. Check your Telegram, the Telegram group, and the school community for the link. Anybody who joined this right here, I'm gonna pin it. Join it for free right now, and I'll accept you right now from here. There's a lot of scammers that come in, so I'm really careful on who I let in anymore. But if you come in right now, I could accept you if you just click that link for free. Okay. We'll just go from there. All right, guys. God bless. Thank you so much. I'll see you everybody on TikTok and YouTube tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is it. That is all. God bless. Take care. Back it out. Peace.